This is your Weather Xtreme video for Tuesday, December the 25th. Merry Christmas from all of us at the Alabama Weather Blog. And let's get right to what's going on since it's a big day today. There's a look at the upper air pattern, and you can see that the trough coming out of the southern Rockies is coming out across Texas as we've been forecasting, and that trough is going negatively tilted. The result will be and is a surface low that forms in the southeast Texas area, and that surface low along with the warm front will move north during the day today, and by red flag warning. We're looking at rainfall amounts of 2 to 3 inches with this system across central Alabama. It looks like probably 1.5 to about 2.25 inches is what we may get. Storm Prediction Center has expanded the moderate risk somewhat. The area is pretty much in the same locale, but it is expanded just a little bit, extending from about Houston across Baton Rouge, affecting places like Mobile, coming up just about to Tuscaloosa. And that moderate risk, of course, is where we expect the worst weather to be. All right, let's get into what we can expect today. And there's a look at some of the models from the Storm Prediction Center. And those are the CAPE values. And you can see that the 500 values come up to about Tuscaloosa or so. In addition to that, we've said that this is a relatively low CAPE but high shear environment, and there you go. There's the helicity values, and these are all at 3Z, so that's around 9 p.m. this evening, and you can see those helicity values, the shear values, very, very high. So certainly it's all coming together. And then, of course, one of the parameters we look at that kind of combines things is the significant tornado parameter, and that's the area in green. And you can see that that comes up to being values over 1 are what you're looking for. And you can see that, and once again, this is at 3Z or 9 p.m., you can see that values actually climb to 4. So it's certainly shaping up to be a very significant event. Now, after the event goes by, and this is a quick look at the Europeans' forecast for 06Z, but after that low goes by, the 540 line isn't getting into the area, but if you'll notice the Europeans' 850 temperatures, this is at midday on Wednesday, and certainly by all thoughts here, that means that we may see a little bit of light snow as the precipitation ends. The moisture will be ending, but as it does, we may see the precipitation go from light rain to a light rain snow mixed, or maybe even we'll see a few flurries before it all ends. Now, as we start looking a little more at the 06Z GFS, there is the trough coming out today, and I know we're kind of backing up a little bit, and there is the trough coming across the Mississippi River this evening at midnight, and that is the surface pattern according to the GFS. And as you can see, the GFS and the European continue to have solid agreement in what they're forecasting. Now, I mentioned the threat of wintry precipitation, especially north of Birmingham. And again, this is not a major snow event. We don't get that with these wraparound situations, but you can see the moisture staying in a little bit at 18Z on the GFS. And once again, looking at the 850 temperatures, you can see the GFS is also forecasting some pretty low 850 temperatures, making the brief switchover or possibly some snow flurries a possibility. Now, let's go out to the regular GFS, and we'll move on in time. And this is Thursday, the 27th. Wednesday is going to be a raw day. Temperatures falling through the 40s, windy northwesterly flow behind that cold front, strong northwesterly wind. But by Thursday, the upper pattern is such that we're under a ridge, and that at least dries us out. We're going to be kind of chilly with a chilly start to the day, and temperatures staying below seasonal values by a few degrees. Friday, we're now watching the next system approach. The next trough is coming out of the southern Rockies, and that places us in a southwesterly flow pattern. So moisture and warmth, probably temperature values getting up into the mid-50s or so for highs. And you can see the moisture returning across part of the lower Mississippi River Valley, generally west of the Mississippi River. Saturday, that trough moves on by, and as it does, of course, we'll see another surface low form. This one not as strong, but we certainly will see the possibility of rain, rain being likely on Saturday. And then we dry out on Sunday as another ridge comes by. And you notice it's like every 2 to 3 days, so it's a pattern very, very progressive. We head on out to Monday, the last day of 2012, and you can see a nice wet-looking pattern with nice moisture coming out of the Pacific, and indeed the GFS suggesting that we will see perhaps another surface low, or at least moisture coming out of the Pacific, producing some showers across Texas and Arkansas. That pattern stays with us, but you notice there's also a lot of little disturbances in there coming through the flow, so that means it probably will be a bit of a wet day on January the 1st. Which is basically a week from today. And now extending the forecast out a little bit further, this is the 3rd, and one system comes by, and then here's the 6th, and another system is approaching, and there is the 9th, and maybe we'll have a little break in the action, but one system's gone by, and it's a brief break. There's another one coming in the flow, so the flow remaining very, very progressive. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC 3340. The weather team will be on duty there. James and Charles will be in the studio, and I expect to be out in the field doing some storm spotting. So stay with ABC 3340, and be sure to check back with the blog. And please, please have a way to receive weather warnings today. I know this is one of those days when we are, focused on families and food and presents and all of that sort of stuff. But please be aware of the weather. I hope that your Christmas is a nice one. Merry Christmas and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.